before he passed away, I was with my father in his room asking the most important question that I ever had to ask. Or I said something to him that was very important. I said, all the times I've offended you, um, I'm asking for your forgiveness. And immediately, without question, my father said, what do you mean? Here I am, I'm about to say sorry to him about all the things I've ever done to him. I said to him, even at some point, cursed him out because that's how family things happen, right? But it took him just that statement, just that statement or that question he asked. He just seemed like it didn't matter. And there's something about going on to the next life that causes you to reflect and not hold any bitterness or any animosity towards each other. When you know that soon you're going to leave this earth and face whatever you're going to face afterwards, you tend to forget. And that is a very admirable trait that my father displayed. You find for the rest of us still living on earth, that's not a trait that we don't want to possess. We don't want to forgive each other. We don't know how it is to forgive. Excuse me. Even though the Bible is littered with all sorts of scriptures asking to forgive each other, forgive your brother, forgive your sister, love your enemies, right? Well, the algorithms state we should hate our enemies, and that drives us more followers and more clicks or whatever. So we don't care what the Supreme One says. We're just gonna go with the algorithms and just hate each other. And that's what it is. That's what this medium is. It's one big hate fest. It's one big, we don't forgive you for anything you've done. The conditions, I believe, scripturally and humanly possible, is that a person forgives, and then they, as long as they don't repeat the same action or they repeat the same whatever they do to cause them to offend a person or even you and me, you can say that, okay, they're worthy of forgiveness. And if they repeat the same pattern over and over again, then you can see they haven't learned a lesson, and guess what? They they're not worthy of forgiveness, I guess. You may have known someone in your family or someone close to you who you knew had committed some bad actions in their lives, stealing or whatever they've done, and you can point at them all they want for the rest of their lives and give them that stigma that you know they're a thief, right? You know he or she is a thief. But if that person stops stealing and changes their life for the better and becomes a better person, we should forgive them for something that they obviously messed up on. And that's what we see a lot of social media today. A whole thing. If we committed actions in our childhood or we committed actions when we were young or what have you, guess what? We can say, hey, they did something wrong. But if they forgive over time, if they forgive and they've shown the capacity to change and become better, yeah, we should forgive them. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect either. We all make mistakes, people. Or, scripturally, we all have sinned. No, there's no one on this earth who is better than that. We all make mistakes. We all sin. Only the capacity we have to change. If we can change and become better and say we're going to move on from the act that offended someone or the words that I said or whatever it is, the action that we have, then we're worthy of forgiveness. And we're also able to forgive someone else for their trespasses as well. But I know, Charles, you know it don't work that way. I know. This is 2022, soon to be 2023. And guess what? The algorithms say, screw that. Don't forget that person. They screwed up in 1950, whatever. Get them. And this is what we all do. We jump on someone. We get into the name calling fest. We pile on somebody because of what they did wrong. And I think you know who I'm talking about. You know, those of you watching of recent events. If not, that's okay. But the thing is, now the one thing that I want to leave you with is that, guess what? If a person decides to change, if a person decides to become better than what they used to be, then we should forgive that person for what they've done in their past. The past should not judge us if we're trying to do right. The past is just merely the past. We all make mistakes in the past. We are not the people that we are now in the present, hopefully in the future to become even better. But we know we are in a digital world, which is replacing the physical world. And guess what? Everyone is not worthy of forgiveness. That's what we want to say. If I committed an act at a young age in the 1970s and you still hold me to that, thinking, oh, Charles, he ain't never going to change. And yet I've proven time and time again that I can change by the way I act, the way I talk, the way I treat people. Well, guess what? I guess in your eyes, I'm never going to change, even though I've shown to other people that I have. So we can be judgmental towards other human beings all we want to. But there's going to come a time and a place that it's going to happen to us. We're going to be the ones to put in the spotlight. And then what are we going to say? What excuses can we make? We all make mistakes. We all fall short. And if you think you're perfect, my advice to you is just keep on living. Because guess what? As I used to tell the students and still do, life is going to teach you a lesson one day. And guess what? Death is also going to teach you a lesson that day. The day of your death. You may laugh now. You may say some bad things about what I've just mentioned now, but trust and believe. That day is definitely coming. So, all I want to say to wrap this up is that, yes, it's okay to be critical of a person now if they have done something in the past and have not shown the capacity for change. You can still be critical of that person. I'm not saying that person is above reproach. You can still be critical of that person, ask critical questions, look at them with a critical eye, and see if they change. But if they have changed by the words, the actions, or deeds, then they're worthy of our forgiveness. My father could have easily put the proverbial mental knife in my heart by saying, son, I don't forgive you. But he did. And when he passed, I felt at least a little bit of relief that all the things I've said to offend him were forgotten by him. I'm not saying that you have to just out and out not be suspicious of people if they're not showing the capacity for change, but it is a good thing to give them a chance and see whether or not they're worthy of that forgiveness. And that's all I have to say. This marks 21 years that I've been an author, and I'm very happy to share my works with you. Last year was Storm over South Central. This year is my first novel, Relay, a story about a high school track team trying to win a championship, but they have to deal with tragedy and other things in their personal lives that you may want to take a look at. Visit my website, charleslchapman.com, or quite simply, go to the stores like Amazon and Barnes & Noble and check out my book there. You'll be glad you did. I guarantee you. So until next time, I want to say, if I don't show another video before the new year, Happy New Year. I hope that this year has been a good one for you. Actually, happy holidays, because we're in holiday season. Be safe. Love your family. Stay together. And until the next time, take care.